All right, I've set a timer that I'm gonna do this recording in 22 minutes, and the moment those 22 minutes are up, I'm gonna stop. So, I want to talk about the marvels of the universe, the beautiful things that we have in life that really we take for granted to a point that we don't even think about them. They are so common sense that just mentioning them makes you sound ridiculous. For example, the immense and amazing capacity that you have as a human being to control your body, the way you can move this hand. I'm using my hand right now and move my fingers to the very highest level of detail. And it's not a big deal, you know? It kind of is. Now, I'm not here to tell you how marvelous it is and how beautiful it is, the blessing of having your physical existence and how to be grateful for it, which is something to be grateful for. No, I'm here to talk about the laws of our lives and the way society has been structured, the way you as a human being, not as an individual on your own, but also the way mankind has progressed. We have history, we have philosophers, we have thinkers and scientists, and development in endless numbers of fields. And the more you read into these, the more you realize, wow, look at how far we've come, and also look at where we are now. Now, I'm not setting comparisons between the past and the present, and for example, saying, I cannot believe people back then used to think that way. No, no, no. What I'm saying is, and what I'm addressing basically is, look at the structures that we have and reflect on them. Think about them. The way we have been born in systems that somehow function, yet the more you exist in them, the more you live, the more you start thinking, you know what? These were not built by hidden entities that decided, hey, listen, this is how society is. This is how you're going to have to go to school and study and graduate and have a job. And no, no, no. They are not hidden entities. They are people exactly like you. And obviously, it wasn't just one person who was like, listen, this is how it's going to be. No, it's an entire structure of, I have no idea how many people, Is it millions? Is it something that has been adapted from several communities and societies? Now, I am in no way criticizing it. I am simply thinking about it. And especially with how much access we have to almost everything. You want to learn about something, it's just seconds away from you. You have access to the internet, an immense database in nearly every topic that you might find interesting. You want to learn about the history of photography, the history of painting, sculpting, the human body, the human brain, history of civilization, how machines like cars and planes have been structured, and you want to learn to practice creating them. All of it is just a click away, as they say. And I'm not here to marvel at the reality of everything. I was going to say the theory of everything, but it's a reality of everything. What I'm here to invite you to think about is how beautiful it is, how temporary it all is. I mean, you're born into this life and you're here for a while, and then after some time, you're gone, and there will be those who inherit you, and then they will have people who inherit them. That's the, and just disclaimer, I'm not here to give you an existential crisis. I'm here to give you an existential gratitude. Now, back to the topic. So, you are born to the laws of reality, to the existence of humans and other organisms, other creatures. And this is how things work. I cannot have my hand go through the table. No, there are laws of physics, of metaphysics, etc. And I love thinking about how the reality we are born in, and I'm not just speaking about the physical reality, but the agreed upon nonverbal knowledge that we all have, the things that several societies have decided this is how we structure ourselves and how different each community can be from another, and how something in your social structure is accepted and appreciated and even celebrated could be something that is taboo and cannot be spoken of in another culture or society, and vice versa. There are so many things that even myself, even maybe you, we see on maybe, I will say Western media and first world countries. I've been there as well. So we see those things as normal. They are there, they exist, they are things that make sense and they are logical. Yet, if you were to go to, for example, your hometown or your home culture, it's radically different. Now, it doesn't mean this is close minded and this is open minded, this is liberal, this is conservative, even though it could be that. But the fundamental belief systems, the fundamental social structures, they are so different that even though you see something as normal in your actual existing life or lifestyle, it does not exist there. And the other way around, if you were to go live there or spend some time there, you have to partially, not entirely, dissociate from your origins, because you cannot bring it entirely with you and impose it in your new environment. Yet you learn, you become wow, you become multicultural, and your horizon of acceptance becomes wider. You broaden your knowledge and your capacity to understand the other person, and it's just the entirety of the existence that we have. How we have so much in common, yet so many differences. The human capacity to empathize with someone else's pain, the way, if you were to read a book or watch a movie, if something sad happens, even though part of you knows that the characters in the book are fictional or the people in the movie are acting, even if it's animated, which is literally drawn characters, it ignites a human emotion in you. It invokes something so powerful that you might feel happy or sad, or you might cry. Hell, even there are entire fandoms that are created that even create fictional situations to the fictional world that they are fans of, which is called fan fiction. And they even coined the term, this is not canon. Canon is what happens in the actual author's work, and non-canon is fan fiction. So the entire agreed upon made, not real, not even man-made, rather made believe. Yes, it's made believe. It's something that's agreed upon, and people acknowledge it and talk about it and share, and it's so wonderful. It's so beautiful. I'll share a story that might bring another part about how marvelous life is, existence is. So it's amazing to me. It's fascinating. It's beautiful how the knowledge you acquire in a specific field can be transferred to any other field you start learning. So what does that mean? Let's say, and this is my personal experience, let's say you go into fitness and you start working out, lifting weights, and you learn how muscles work, why this is push, why this is pull, and you even though early on I didn't really understand why working out makes my muscles bigger, but we get to that later. So you go into that field and you start working out and you learn about the names of the muscles. Now, when you get to drawing, and again, this is my personal experience, when I started drawing, I was not just terrible, worse than terrible. I was envious. How can I get better? How can I get to be at least half as good as the other people who draw? And then I started learning human anatomy, and I started learning perspective and lighting, and hey, there are things in common now. Human anatomy uses the same muscles that I learned about when I was working out, and lighting and in drawing, it's in everything basically. It's the same thing that I get to use when I work out because I need good lighting to actually see the physical muscles in front of me. Now, then I moved to sculpting, and sculpting is the same thing. It had actually 3D modeling, not just sculpting. It had human anatomy. It had lighting, composition, where you place the camera, and then where you place the lights in 3D space. After that, I decided to get into photography because why not, you know? Actually, it's because I had, it appealed to me. I wanted to, I admired the work of photographers and videographers, and I purchased several cameras, but not all at once. And when I started photography and they were talking and teaching me about lighting, composition, the way the light is gonna reflect on your subject, I was like, hey, I've been doing that in 3D. Now, how did I get from lifting heavy objects, which is working out, to photography? It didn't happen like in a linear fashion. No, it went from working out, drawing, sculpting, 3D modeling, photography. And somehow that knowledge still transfers to everything else, even if initially it doesn't make sense. The knowledge in writing. I love writing. I've been writing ever since I was a kid. Even back then, I didn't know. I was thinking maybe, oh, I love poetry. I didn't even know what the hell was that. But I was writing, and it was like short sentences when I was a kid. And then all of those things, they merge into all the database, the source within you as a human being. And it reflects in the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you view the world. An artist, someone who, whatever set of artistic skills you use, someone who's a photographer, for example, has an eye for the way the sunlight hits a cafe window during sunrise or sunset, completely different from someone who has never done anything artistic and is just there to order an Americano or whatever. And someone who is passionate about writing and reading, for example, sees things in expressive literature, in an expressively literate manner, I'll say it that way. So just some guy passed and hit someone on the shoulder, yet someone who loves reading and writing, they will see like 3 pages of action happening in something like that. And even the way they express themselves, the way they interact with the world. And that's also another thing that I think is beautiful. The interaction between the inner world within you and the outer world. You do not, I believe, you do not let out a fraction of what's within you to the world outside you. Now, it could be because you've been numbed out so badly because you have to make a living. Life is this, life is going to work, going to school, hanging out with your friends, and having maybe a hobby and barely managing to do your chores, and that's it. Anything else is luxury, anything else is extra. Hopefully, maybe in 2 years, you'll get the chance to travel somewhere interesting for a couple of days, and then you're back to this mundane existence. However, no, that's not life. That's not what's within you. It's like you've formed not just one barrier, but a multitude of barriers. It became layered. And so what's within does not go out to the world outside. And the problem with that is the dance between what's within you and the world around you, the way you influence the world around you, the way you influence people and the way they influence you, the world and people, and the way you affect each other, and they turn out to become different because they were merged with what's within you, and you change in a way because of the influence of those around you. It's magical. It's beautiful. And I don't think we don't talk about it enough. We're just too numb and too busy and too focused on reality, the left side of our brains, which is, I think it's not the main side. I think the right side is the main side, and the left side should be following it. Well, I just said that in Arabic. But anyway, I digress. That's not even the thing I'm talking about here. We are so focused on what's real and rigid and physical and logical, that we do not address what's artistic and abstract and beyond mere boring logic. I don't think it has to be one or the other. In fact, I think it should be a mixture of both. It should be that you allow yourself to express artistically, to view what's beyond just the narrow field of sight that you have, and look beyond that, and also pay attention to the narrow, logical, mundane in front of you. And one last thing that I will finish with, because I did say I want this to be only 22 minutes and then I'm going to stop. One last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to talk about whatever may happen. I think it's crucial to not let yourself go. Even if existence has no meaning and you can give it meaning, I think it's an invitation. When we say existence has no meaning, it's not a negative statement. It's a positive statement that tells you, hey, have fun. None of this matters. So do it. So see what's going to happen. Live the adventure. Try, give it your all, and find out. Did I finish? Okay, I have 10 seconds left. I give coaching on my website. Wow, I can't believe I'm doing advertisement now. And if you want to be coached, go there. Bye.